Hello everyone. 2 weeks ago on this program, it was Toya Weasel, the barefoot runner from Barnes in Jawaka, now the queen of the track in Papua New Guinea. Then it was Stanley Nandex, the kickboxing champion, who kicks like a mule. That's from his opponents, by the way. He's also contributed immensely to the sport. None perhaps any louder and more dominant than champion swimmer Ryan Pinney. All of them, in their own ways, have put Papua New Guinea at the forefront, and all for the good reasons. It's swimming this time, and Ryan Pinney is our guest in this edition of TOK PIKSA. Thank you, Ryan Pinney, for talking to us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah, Ryan, look, you've done a lot of swimming in your life. You're 32 years old. Tell me, is that prime in your swimming career? Are you leveling off? Are you going downhill? What's 32 to you?
To me personally, it's it's probably gone past the time of my prime.
Okay. What is the prime? 18 years, 20 years?
For me, it was probably mid to late 20s.
Okay.
A lot of other people, it really depends on other people, but you see mid 35-year-olds swimming at the Olympics still.
That's right.
And winning medals. So there's no real limitations to it. It's all sort of pretty much in the mind. But for me personally, it was my injuries taking a toll, which has forced me to have a bit of a break.
And then after the Olympic Games, the last Olympic Games, you did say something to the effect that you're not going back there again?
No, to put my body into that elite stage required years of hard work.
Okay.
And it got to the point where my body wasn't coping with it anymore. I couldn't refresh myself. I couldn't rest myself enough to be able to recover every day and to push myself harder. So it was really difficult getting fit enough to go to the Olympics without burning out and spending, I guess, several weeks in a comatose, almost just unable to move. So it really took a toll on me getting to that level. So for the Pacific Games, it's going to take another mindset of it and make sure I'm well rested and take care of myself.
Yeah. So we are expecting to see you in the pool in 2015.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't quite retired yet. I've got to.
Well, that's good to know. Here you are, Papua New Guinea is in the pool swimming in 2015.
Yeah, that's going to be my last hurrah. I've got swimming at home. Can't beat that for the Pacific Games. So I'm going to put a lot of effort into that and make sure that we can win some gold.
Okay. Let me just take you back to the 2006 Commonwealth Games. That had to be the moment in your life, was it not?
Yeah, it was. It really changed everything for me. Just that one race and how it all turned out. It's just quite incredible how everything happened. A lot of work went into it, yes. But at the same time, it was just one of those things where I felt it was just in the spur of the moment. If it was a day later, a day earlier, it could have been completely different. But it really changed everything for me. Yeah,
and you beat Australia's best, Michael Klim.
Yeah.
And let's have a look at that, by the way. That clip, we have that clip. Let's have a look at that swim.
He is going very quickly in lane number 5. Klim is there in lane 4, and lane 5 has it. It's Pinney in front, Cooper's close up, then Swanepoel. Pine not quite there, neither is Klim. Burmester unwinding from Bow. They've got 25 to go. The Papua New Guinean swimmer, Ryan Pinney, looks to be in front in the middle of the pool. Klim is coming through to be second. Now Burmester puts in the big ones. Pinney's in front for mine from Klim, Swanepoel and Burmester. Pinney! Yes!
Well,
Papua New Guinea has taken gold.
You snatched that from the man who was expected to win.
Yeah, that's right. The Australian men hadn't won an individual gold medal at that time, and I think there was a lot of hopes resting on his shoulders to win. So it's a big moment. Previous world record holder in the event, Michael Klim, and pipped him out by 0.06 of a second.
And just the point about that is Michael Klim was placed on box number 4, and you were on 5.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that normally the best swimmers are normally placed on box 4. because the cameras are there, the concentrations there, I suppose. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so they arranged it so the fastest swimmer is in lane 4, and then
They made a mistake then, of course.
No, well, it all came
Well, you were in 5, you
I
won
was
it.
in 5, yeah,
Yeah.
I won it. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and you can win it from lane 8 as the
oh, sure,
slowest swimmer going in. So it all depends on how you place in the semi-final the night before, and I finished second fastest of the night before, so I was put in the next lane, which was fine for me, and I'd actually swum the race the night before a little bit slower, just so that I can have enough left over the next night and feel comfortable and confident that I could improve on that time.
Okay.
So it was, it was just one of those things that I, had been planning for so many months of how we're going to attack it, and I was just feeling really good on the day. So it's just, to come out with a gold was.
Oh, it's fantastic. You had the country on edge, and Ray Warren, the caller at that time, said that for the moment he gave the country a new name. He said, Ryan Pinney from Papua New Guinea, let's call Papua New Guinea Papua New Guinea. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I have heard that actually. So.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, no, that was, I guess at the time, so much was made of Papua New Guinea somehow winning a gold medal against all these other big name countries. So, I guess it came to be a little bit from that. So,
that butterfly stroke, you held that in a Commonwealth for 4 months after that win or so.
Yeah, actually, I held that for a long time.
In the whole of the Commonwealth, that's right.
Yeah, actually, the time was even the fastest in the world for several months there. So, it was quite interesting, and I think a lot of other swimmers were trying to catch up to that mark during those times. So it was a performance that lasted for a long time.
Yes. Okay, well, let's come back home now. Come back to the region, I suppose, to the Oceania, the Pacific, and PNG. According to the website that I've been able to look through, some 32 medals from gold right down to silver. Am I missing any here?
They're probably my top level, my most favourite medals that I've won, whether it be Pacific Games, Commonwealth Games. And then there's other competitions like the Mare Nostrum Series World Cup Series that I've been able to get a few medals, but they probably fly under the radar a little bit because they're smaller competitions, but still in the world they're targeted quite heavily. So
you probably have a room devoted to that now.
I've got a room, and I actually want to try and set up a place that people can come and view the medals, because they're really quite fantastic things to see, and not everyone gets to see one, especially in Papua New Guinea. So I'd like to give the opportunities for people to come out and see what awards and medals.
Where is that? Is that in your...
No, I don't have it set up at the moment, but I'd like to be able to, yeah.
Okay, and where would you like to set it up? In an open place at home? Where?
Yeah, no, it'll be probably at the family business at theatres.
Okay,
so,
theatres, yes.
So,
well, in a shopping, in what's the name? In there, you can have it there, so that.
Yeah, people can.
I reckon it'd be fantastic. You'd have a queue of potential swimmers and.
Well, that's the idea, is to promote a bit of hope, and I want people to be able to set their own goals and to go, yes, it is possible. If they can dream it, then they can do it.
Yeah. Well, hope is probably an operative word here. Benchmarks, pace setters, someone to look up to. You have been there for a lot of Papua New Guineans, not in swimming, in the political arena, in the social, in whatever areas that we are in, we've looked up at you. Has that changed you? You're up there, countries looking at you. How do you feel in that situation?
Yeah, sometimes, especially after the Commonwealth Games, it did put a bit of pressure on myself to be able to make sure that I do the right thing. So if anyone is watching, that I'm setting a good example, and that's important for Papua New Guineans to see. As a sportsman, a lot of times things can be put in the spotlight. So to be able to carry this over, and I feel that I've got a good character, a good personality about myself. I'm always positive, so hopefully that'll carry over to other people. And it's just, I'm very lucky that the sport that I have been in is such a good sport as well. There's not too much bad publicity about it.
No, no, and it's not a contact sport or anything. You challenge yourself, I suppose, and you challenge the guy or the girl swimming next to you.
Yeah, it's very individual. Most of the time we're setting goals to beat our own time, so it's not about Michael Phelps trying to beat Michael Phelps. It's because you don't know what time he's going to do, so you just got to set a time that you want to accomplish and do whatever you can to make that. So.
Yeah. Michael Phelps, yeah, he's that American swimmer. You have been the Michael Phelps of Papua New Guinea at one point there.
Yeah, well, it's Michael Phelps is such a good person as well for the sport, and he's retired now, but I had such a great time for myself swimming up against him. I did that in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing.
Is that the time when he won he swept gold in the swimming pool?
Yeah, he won 8 gold medals.
In Papua New Guinea, we're a maritime country, maritime provinces, a lot of islands with a lot of people fishing and swimming, walking on water virtually every day. We don't seem to swim. I mean, I'm a Highlander. I'll be excused for that, I suppose. I don't have any water to swim in, but Papua New Guinea, there's a sea there and we use it all the time. Why aren't we a serious swimming country?
It's an interesting one, and I think Papua New Guineans are very talented at whatever they put their minds to, especially athletics. When it comes to the pool, unfortunately, it takes a certain amount of commitment, just like any sport does. But with swimming, it's not exactly fun. It's not like playing a rugby game where you get enjoyment out of it. It's hard work because you've got to get wet twice a day. Swim for up to 4 hours a day, and you don't get to talk to anyone. You don't, it's just your head's down in the water. So the commitment levels is very difficult, and I think for a lot of people to be able to combine that with school or work, which is having a job in Papua New Guinea as a person, you need to have a job to be able to make do to live. So putting everything aside and trying to fit in swimming to be an elite swimmer or a top level swimmer requires a lot of either funding, support from the federations, things like that. So I think it's really difficult for someone to be able to make their way up through. And I've been very fortunate that I've had support from the Sports Federation and from my parents, who supported me a great deal, especially earlier on. So for me, it was a lot about that. So if anyone wanted to become a top level swimmer like myself, it takes a lot of funding. I put my whole life on hold, pretty much to concentrate on swimming.
Yeah. The other thing that this is something that I see, you're 6 feet 5 inches or something. So all the other world-class swimmers are standing level with you. Do you have to be tall, slim and sleek to slide through the water?
It does help, but I think what is most important for to be a good swimmer, and they do profiling on swimmers, so you've got to have your wingspan is ideal if it's taller than what you are. So if I'm
That's probably why we're not winning. We're smaller by nature.
Yeah, see, my arms are very long, so I'm 196 centimetres tall, but my wingspan is 210 centimetres. So that helps greatly with the catch of the water. Also, my hands and feet are larger, and lung capacity.
You're able to pull back some water and go forward.
So when people get picked up for swimming or different sort of sports, they look at what abilities you have, regardless of even putting you in the water and testing you. It's outside the water. They look at things like that. So there are definitely people in Papua New Guinea will have that, and it's about grabbing hold of them and then trying to coach them through the process of swimming.
Molding them and getting them through the water like a fish. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll talk about assistance and whether it's there from government and communities out there a little bit later. Let me just talk about the strokes that you're good at. You're a butterfly specialist. You do some, I think, backstroke and freestyle, you don't do breaststroke.
No.
Why is that? I mean, a swimmer of your caliber and your brilliance would easily go through that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I used to swim it when I was younger, but when I got to a stage, then I had to specify a bit more which strokes I wanted to concentrate on. So for me, that was butterfly and backstroke at the time. But breaststroke's one of those things where you need to have flexible hips and flexible knees,
sure,
and it really takes a toll.
You swim like a frog there, really, don't you?
It's a difficult stroke. It's very technical. And it's just one of those things that I didn't pick up. A lot of people will have it as they're young and be really good at it through the years, but they mostly, if they're a breaststroker, they'll just swim breaststroke and every now and then swim another stroke. But with butterfly or backstroke, you have a bit more of a range to go through, just because your hips and all the other joints are sort of.
But I've always thought that the butterfly stroke is the most hardest of swimming. Is it not?
It is hard. It's hard because you have your both arms over the top of you at the one
and
time.
You virtually leap out of the water and then do that all the time.
So as soon as you get tired, then it gets harder to bring your head out of the water to breathe, whereas all the other strokes, you can do that fairly comfortably, regardless of whether you feel like you're swimming through mud. So butterfly is very tough in that regard, but it's a really beautiful stroke when you do it correctly, and it's very powerful too. So I've always really just excelled at it more than the other strokes for some reason, whatever that be. But
freestyle you have to do, I suppose. And how's that?
Yeah, freestyle's good, and that's something that I would do. Maybe 95% of my training would be just in freestyle, and that's partly because fly is difficult to train. You can only do so many meters of it before you either get injuries or you tire yourself out too much for the whole session. So I would mostly do butterfly and freestyle, and do specific parts of a training session in butterfly just to get some practice out of it.
Okay. Now, you said you had some assistance from the Federation, and particularly your parents. Okay. A lot of sportsmen and women in this country feel that they're not getting the kind of assistance that they should, kind of backing that they should from government. I don't want to bring you into a political situation here, but how do you feel about that?
I understand parts of it, just because, I mean, for me personally, I would love to see anyone that wants to take a sport seriously get funded for it, because that's how you become a great sporting nation. And as probably everyone knows, sports brings everyone together. It crosses different cultures, languages, and religions. So it's very powerful. But at the same time, I feel that it can be very difficult to probably select those athletes who do need the funding and those who don't. And that's where it gets quite political. And I know the federations put a lot of time and effort into trying to balance it all out so that the right people are getting the funding. But it's very difficult, and like I'd love to be able to see it get to the stage where sports people can focus solely on being a sportsman and get to the top of their respected sports. So.
But things like that, I mean, there should be an Olympic-sized swimming pool in Port Moresby, in Lane, places where people can swim. It's non-existent.
No, and the maintaining of the facilities is the most difficult part of it. So hopefully with all the new facilities that we are getting, that we're able to maintain it, and hopefully with this, then really we can push for a lot of people to start doing their respective sports because of world-class facilities that we're going to have. So I think it'll make things a lot easier. At the moment we're at the school pool, so we've only got 6 lanes. It's very, very tight, so you can only really have a number of people that you focus your training sessions on. So it's difficult to do at the moment, and hopefully we can get this pool built as soon as we can so that we're able to get in and really focus on winning some medals.
in the SP Games in the past. Ryan Pinney was called up for the 100 meters. Ryan Pinney was called up for the 200. Ryan Pinney was for the 400. It's been Ryan Pinney all the way through, and there's been no other Papua New Guinean swimming next to you or behind you. Is that going to be the case in 2015 here?
Well, we hope not. We hope that we're going to get some strong swimmers, and we do have a targeted number of swimmers that we're really putting our energy in for the next 2 years. So,
are you part of that build-up right now?
Yeah, I haven't been in the pool for a little while yet, but that is the aim. We've got 2 years to go, so that's an ideal length of time to be able to get myself in and trained up and fit enough for it. And I'm sure in 2 years' time we're going to have some strong swimmers that will hopefully be right up in there with the medal mix. And it's difficult because New Caledonia, for one, is a very strong, very competitive country. So
they get their training in French or something, or other countries.
Yeah, mostly. So and you know, if you look at their facilities, they've got 2 or 3 50-meter pools at their expense. So yeah, how do you compete with that? And a lot of funding. They've got a lot of good sponsorship and a lot of good funding.
Yes.
So
yeah, I think we need to see that. Females, we've got some swimmers.
Yeah, we've got some swimmers, and even some that are keen to make a comeback that we've had in the last 2 or 3, 4 years. So we've got some swimmers. We've got some strong breaststrokers coming through. We just need to make sure that we have not just 50-meter swimmers or 100. We've got 2, 4, 800-meter swimmers as well, so that we're filling out all the events as much as possible, and not just saturating one person like I would usually do. Yeah. Eight individual races over the 5 days, so it's very tough, and I won't be able to do that come 2 years. So I would like to rely on other people to be able to.
But do you know of 1 or 2 swimmers who will be coming with you in 2015? Do you know of any swimmers, Papua New Guinea swimmers, who are going to be helping you swimming?
Yeah, there's a few at the moment, and I'm actually taking 3 swimmers over to the World Championships, which are in Barcelona next month. So,
who are they?
There's Stanford Gorey, and Barbara Liana Bali, and Tegan McCarthy. So they're 3 strong swimmers we have at the moment that are able to qualify for such events. There's a lot of other swimmers who will be targeted for the Pacific Games, but these particular swimmers, will be in their prime, we hope.
And so, what strokes are they strong in?
The girls are strong in breaststroke, but they're also good freestylers, and Stanford, he's a good butterflyer and backstroker, also good freestyle, so he'll be there to help me, or vice versa, I'll be there to help him, whichever way it turns out, because he's got 2 years, and he'll improve a lot in the 2 years, and we should see him right up there, hopefully on the medal podium.
Which province are they from, or the team that you're taking?
Yeah, good question. I'm not too sure actually.
True, okay. Yeah. I'm sure they're not Highlanders. Not from the Highlands, I mean.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. What about swimming in general? What, as a group of kids, they're interested in swimming. What would you say to them in the code that you are in and good at? What would you say to them?
I've had a talk with some of the swimmers before, and I really say, from my personal experience with swimming, growing through the ranks, I really just focus so much on everyday tasks. So accomplishing a goal from day to day, looking at a certain session and thinking, this is what I'm going to target, this is how I'm going to do it. And you work yourself from day to day, looking at future goals set from a few months away to a few years, so 2 years away for the Pacific Games. So I would tell swimmers, if they wanted to prepare for the Pacific Games, they have to start now, because 2 years is a good preparation time. You spend the next year training, building up a good base, and then the next year you want to do as much racing as you can to get that racing experience for when you want to step up behind the blocks and you know that you've done everything you can. You've done this race 100 times before. All
You're
got to do,
win now.
yeah, you've got to do is just get in there and do it. And
Okay.
yeah.
All right. This one final question. You taking part in all the strokes in the Pacific Games, in the coming Pacific Games? All of them?
I will have to see where I'm at in 2 years, but definitely butterfly and backstroke, and then we'll see where I rank amongst the Papua New Guinean swimmers, and you know, if we've got a strong freestyle team, then you know, it'll be whoever makes the top 2 qualifying, because or the 3 actually, we can have 3 swimmers as the host country, so hopefully we've got a big enough team that we can set 3 swimmers in every event, and that'll sort out who's going to make it into the finals as the top swimmer or top 2 swimmers. So yeah, there's a lot of action to be done, and we're building up to it, and we're making sure that we're getting the racing, sending teams to the World Championships, the Junior World Championships, even to Singapore have their national championships this month, which the team is heading across to. So we're really getting a lot of race practice done.
Okay, so we're doing the right the preparation for it then.
Yeah, and with the Pacific Games, they do have funding available for sports to be able to put towards getting their target teams ready for Pacific Games, because it's we've got to put on a good show, and yeah, that's what the aim is, and that's what I want to do for the swimming. We'll get a good team.
Okay. And I think we have put together a good show here. We are running out of time. Ryan Pinney, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. Ryan Pinney, Papua New Guinea's champion swimmer, our guest in this edition of TOK PIKSA. Until another show, thank you for watching.